particularly where I come from, Punjab, though I've never lived in the Punjab, it came as conquerors. The Mughal Empire, the Mughals were different. I'll just come to that in a moment. It seems to me to be bad, not only bad politics, but also bad historiography, because today the gap in our public discourse about our minority community, and I'm talking about Islam, is painful. It's painful, because when you do not converse with a society, when you cannot enter into a conversation, because of the demonization of that group by your ruling elite, you're really in trouble. And this question, the issue of how people can live together, really catapulted itself to the forefront of our political theory agenda in the aftermath of the collapse of the Berlin Wall and the rush of genocide, ethnic genocide that followed in the Balkans and East Europe. I mean, countries melted away, federations dissolved, and neighbors turned upon neighbors in particularly brutal ways. It reminded us of what we had read about the partition of India. Putting aside our projects of a perfectly just society, many of us started investigating, how did this happen? I mean, where did this gap in our historical memory come from? And we have to go back to the era of nationalism. Now, we are very, very well versed with the idea of civic nations versus ethnic nations, given to us by Hans Kuhn and reiterated ad infinitum by every Western philosopher of the nation. And of course, civic nations are France, US, and England, and the ethnic nation belong to Eastern Europe. Comes up later in conditions of economic and social ill-being, and comes up in the literary domain. And I think it's one of the biggest mistakes that we have made, because there is no form of nationalism that is independent of the other. And this is particularly true of India, where ethnic nationalism and civic nationalism come up roughly at the same time towards the closing decades of the 20th century, of the 19th century, I'm sorry. But the story starts much earlier, because nationalism does not come onto this scene fully formed like Aphrodite. In every case of anti-colonial nationalism, we have a period of what is called cultural self-regeneration, of cultural critique, of conversations with the self. What were we and what have we become?